All right, we got a lot of hell breaking loose across the area, but obviously, South Shore 12. If you're in Utopia, you're oblivious to the reality that we're facing. So, of course, this network is always pushing Hulkle. Not really talking too much about crime here. Not too much crime at all here, actually. So it's obvious what this network gears to, and gears to, these people sitting pretty in their enclaves here on the South Shore. That's what it gears to. Gears to them, living it up, oblivious to all the suffering the rest of us are going through. There's more proof of it. Yep, best month since 1976 on the Dow. So with all this crazy, they're just in their own world. They're in their own little utopia down there. Well, the rest of us, we have to deal with a lot worse, and we're going to talk about that because there was a number of shootings today in Jamaica. That's right, in Jamaica. We're going to go to Laura Uhle, who first reported on this as well. A number of shootings. I actually have to scroll all the way down here. Bullets raining in Jamaica. Heavy police presence. Multiple people shot. This is right by the Long Island Railroad Jamaica Station as well as the Sutphin Boulevard subway. So this was, and then another shooting. This time in Hillside Avenue in Jamaica. This was 4:30 in the morning. This one was broad daylight though. And then this one here, we got another one here. Another shooting in Jamaica. Somebody shot by the bus depot. Jamaica Avenue and 165th Street by the bus terminal. That's where the N22, N24, and N6 go. All right? And then we had multiple people struck by vehicles on Long Island as well. Police are on Jericho Turnpike and Hillside Boulevard reporting pedestrian struck by vehicle. This is around New Hyde Park. And then around 4 p.m., some pedestrian was struck by a vehicle in Mineola, on Mineola Boulevard. And then another one was struck Jericho Turnpike and Hillside Avenue in Old Westbury, all the middle of the island. And then another pedestrian was hit by a vehicle in Nassau County, Hempstead Turnpike, and Farmingdale. So all the hell's breaking loose in the middle of the island while they're just living it up. I'm sure they're living it up, So let's go look at, start here. Let's start with NBC New York. And we will start with what happened in Jamaica, all right? And there was a shooting in Jamaica. And there was actually, I don't even see any coverage about the one at 165th Street. But what we will do is we'll play the Eyewitness News story here for you.
More breaking news to tell you about. It has been a violent afternoon in Queens. 3 people shot in broad daylight. And
you won't believe who shows up in this news, in the news stories.
On the corner of 91st Avenue and Sutphin Boulevard. This is right across the street from the Long Island Railroad Jamaica Station. And now, news that a 16-year-old was shot not far away. Eyewitness News reporter Lucy Yang has the details. She joins us from the scene in Jamaica. Lucy.
Well, that's right, Joe. We have explosive back-to-back gun violence this Sunday. Let's begin with a triple shooting here on this busy stretch of Sutphin Boulevard in Jamaica, Queens. This is where pedestrian traffic, businesses, and train traffic crisscross. In the midst of all that, multiple shots rang out. This is Sutphin Boulevard between Archer Avenue and 91st Street. 2 o'clock this afternoon when this area was packed with shoppers and travelers.
Broad daylight.
Bullets were fired. We're told a 29-year-old man was shot in the buttocks, a 24-year-old man in the stomach, and a 21-year-old woman in the lower back. All 3 were rushed to the hospital where they are expected to survive. As doctors work on their bullet wounds, investigators are trying to piece together the narrative that led to this bloodshed, which stretched a city block. It's not clear if it started inside or outside a corner store called LI Grocery Deli. You can see some of the food displays have been toppled over. There is a trail of blood down the sidewalk to the other end of the block. Detectives believe the violence began when 2 men began arguing, followed by gunfire. Not confirmed if the woman and one of the men were innocent bystanders.
Probably.
And just a short while ago, we spoke with one employee. He had just shown up for his night shift at the deli to find an active crime scene and police blocking his entrance.
They tell me like somebody got shot outside and they go to the store.
And what is your reaction to seeing
That's bad. That's bad like this. Make no sense.
It was just
Yes, you won't believe who shows up. Why is he smiling? What's funny about this? I mean, this is the reality he lives with. He lives in Jamaica. He has to deal with this. All right? He has it worse than most of us do with it. So I still don't understand why he'd rather side with a force that's destroying his neighborhood. That's what I don't understand.
chaotic. They were put into the stretcher and into the ambulance as quickly as possible. I know this area very well. This area always has a lot of problems. So it's not a surprise around here.
Yeah, you believe that?
Now to pivot to yet another shooting less than a mile from here at the busy Jamaica Pedestrian Mall. It happened just about an hour ago. Police report a 16-year-old teenager was struck in the stomach. He was rushed to North Shore Long Island Jewish Children's Hospital in critical condition. Certainly another very active crime scene as detectives scrambled to keep up with all the gun violence erupting around the city. Again, a teenager shot, another 3 here. Authorities do not believe the crime scenes are related. So far, no arrest in either incident.
So yeah, really, just it's a state of emergency, as Passengers United said. Though, again, Channel 12 would rather push this woman here, making campaign stops. She should have been in Jamaica. I mean, it's a state of emergency, and the governor should send in the National Guard. It's reached that point where we need the National Guard on the streets. But she's not going to do that. She's not going to do that. It's unbelievable. So that's one of the stories we're going to play for you. And why am I talking about this, even though it happened in the city? Because Jamaica is an area that has a lot of transportation in it, specifically transportation coming from Long Island, particularly the Long Island Railroad, as well as the N4, the N6, the N22, the N24. They all go to Jamaica. And the M4 goes to the southern part. But literally, this whole area is just under siege with crime right now. And the mayor doesn't give a damn. And the governor doesn't give a damn. And I really feel bad for the people that are stuck living there. Because it's hell. It's hell over there. All right, so we're going to play another story here about this shooting here from NBC.
Now, 3 people shot in a busy part of Jamaica, Queens. The shooting happening near a transit hub and on a block with several restaurants and shops. And police tell us the 3 people hit were near the corner of Sutphin Boulevard and 91st Avenue. The search right now continues for that shooter. That's where we find News 4's Adam Harding with what witnesses say they saw. Adam?
And Gilma, good evening to you. Just a couple of minutes ago, as we were coming on the air, investigators backing up some bloody clothes from the sidewalk right behind us. Police have this area blocked off. They've been here now several hours. Tonight, we know 3 people, all in their 20s, the victim of gunshot wounds tonight. Investigators are still trying to track down whoever shot them. Tonight, the search for a suspect linked to the latest shooting in the city.
They called me, I was sleeping. I don't know what's happening,
And what did they tell you?
They tell me like somebody got shot outside and they go to the store. I don't know what that means.
Yasser Ali just showed up for work at this Jamaica convenience store, now blocked off by police. Inside, we saw bags of food knocked to the ground outside in apparent trail of blood stretching down the block. Police confirming 2 men and a woman, all in their 20s, were shot.
He just came for work by now.
And you saw this?
I saw this.
And what is your reaction to seeing
That's bad. It's bad like this. Make no sense.
The victims were all transported to Jamaica Hospital and are expected to survive.
This is chaotic because you have the railroad down and shuttle buses running to Jamaica. So imagine how it screwed the traffic and everything. It would have been. It was a mess.
It's not clear if the attack was targeted.
It was a chaotic scene.
Andy Quinto says he was out voting early when he saw the aftermath.
I know this area very well. This area always has a lot of problems. So it's not a surprise around
Spelling
here.
his name wrong.
Unacceptable, and it's sad. That's where I look at it. Unacceptable and sad. I just hope it doesn't happen again. And so, unfortunately,
maybe he did that on purpose.
Investigators say 2 of the victims are known to police. Neighbors are fed up with the gun violence.
No, I'm not surprised at all. Not at all. I'm not surprised. And like I said, this situation is not only in this area, other areas. I know it's going to happen again.
It's going to keep happening until we change things.
Gun violence and people wise up and do the right
Hopefully
thing.
Zelton.
Tonight, police telling us it's not clear if the victims were related to each other. Again, investigators trying to determine if these victims were targeted or if this was a random attack. Tonight, we know from investigators the suspect description said to be wearing a blue jacket, blue Adidas pants, and a face mask. We're live in.
So there's the story on it. And let's see, CBS, let's see. 3 shot at Jamaica. So I'm trying to find the one. The shooting at 165th Street. They're not even talking about that one. I mean, they should be talking about that. They're only covering this one, but they should be talking about the other ones that Laura Uhle brought up. So it's just out of control. It really is. What I'm gonna go to 10-10 wins. Let's see, we got more here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Well, subway crime. Woman pushed into tracks during fight at Brooklyn subway station. 47-year-old woman. There was a drunken fight. Happened at 12:15 a.m. J Street Borough Hall. So another fight, more subway incidents going on. And we have 2 New York City stations now covering this, another incident of somebody struck and killed. Look at this knife fight at subway station. I mean, it's just completely out of control. It's just completely out of control. Meanwhile, this is the governor's priorities right here. This is her priority. She's getting a flu shot. Really, that's a priority. I mean, it's out of control. So let's go to the story on NBC about this husband and wife killed crossing street. All right, no video on it. But 2 pedestrians, a husband and a wife, were killed Saturday evening when a driver hit the pair on the Long Island Street. And this happened, and Channel 12 did not cover it again. Narisco and Maria Saravio were walking across Ocean Avenue, because that's where I'm going to wind up at the rate things are going, in Ronkonkoma around 7 p.m. when they were struck. Suffolk County Police said. So it happened on Ocean Avenue in Ronkonkoma around 7 p.m. And it happened between Express Drive North and Michigan Street. Police say the husband was pronounced dead at the scene and his wife rushed to Stony Brook University Hospital, but she did not survive. The driver of the Hyundai Elantra that hit the Central Islip couple was not injured. It is not clear if he will face any charges or not. But there you go. I mean, how could Channel 12 not cover that? I mean, they're not a news station. They're really just completely out to lunch lately on Channel 12. They really are. Oh, here we go. A fire in Hell's Kitchen caused by the homeless.
In with breaking news in Manhattan, where a stubborn fire in an uncommon location kept firefighters busy tonight. Smoke and flames pouring from underground near a
all
hotel,
hell's breaking loose.
hurting at least 5 people, including firefighters. That fire in Hell's Kitchen started on 42nd Street between 10th and 11th Avenues. And News 4's Adam Harding is live at the scene where firefighters revealed how it may have started at a homeless encampment deep underground. Adam.
Right, very deep underground. In fact, you can see behind us the scene has since cleared. Firefighters just leaving a short time ago, but I want to show you what it looked like when crews first arrived late this evening. This fire is beneath a hotel, which has since been turned into a homeless shelter. There, according to investigators, appears to have been some type of homeless encampment even below that, so underground, and this was about 25 feet above in Amtrak line. So we're talking about a 20 by 40 foot area that somehow caught fire. This homeless encampment, we're understanding from fire investigators. They tell us that it was incredibly difficult to get to. We know of at least 5 injuries tonight, 2 civilians, 3 firefighters suffering minor injuries. A short time ago, the deputy chief explaining to us just how difficult it was to maneuver the fire crews down beneath the hotel so they could get to the flames where the smoke was pouring out.
It was a difficult location to get the hose lines in there. The members did an incredible job getting 2 hose lines, hitting it in 2 separate directions. The company's had a tough time finding it, but they did an incredible job.
Before we operate in the tracks, obviously, we have to contact the Amtrak authorities.
Yeah, they shut down service.
Kill power to the area and make sure that there's no diesel train movement on the lines. So that takes a little bit of time, a little bit of doing, and getting access down through the building. It's like climbing down through a chimney flue.
I wonder what line that is. That's probably the...
and Gilma, from the street, it may have been hard to see just how big this fire was, but we know it rose to a second alarm. About 100 or so firefighters, about 25 different crews came to fight the flames. To give you an idea of how hard this was to get to, Gilma, investigators tonight telling us that this was a third sub-basement here on the 500 block of West 42nd Street. So from the surface, you would not have known that there was a fire. This was all happening, police say, fire investigators say, I should say, underground at a homeless encampment beneath the ground. Since been taken under control. We know it was the building manager who called this in tonight. No word on a cause. Again, 5 injuries, 3 of them to firefighters. All those 3 firefighter injuries said to be minor.
So it's already becoming like California. We're having homeless encampments. It's already becoming like California. Hochul is turning New York into the California of the East Coast. All these stories I'm playing for you. And I guess... Another shooting. Is that another one? I don't know if that's the same one in Jamaica or not. I think it's the same one. But bottom line is, you have homeless people camping in sub-basements. Why the hell aren't they being kicked out? You can't just camp on private property. They should get a home. You know where they should get a home? In jail. That's where you should get a home. I mean, this is what's going on. It's complete mayhem around. It's complete mayhem. And I haven't even looked at the Long Island stories yet. I think this is the same story with Jamaica, I think. I think it is. But I'll show you where the shootings happened in Jamaica first. So if you're not familiar with the area, we'll show you. This is the Jamaica rail station right here. And this is right here, the Sutphin, right by the subway. There's always a lot of crime going on in that subway. It's hard, but it's not safe to use that subway at all. But yeah, this is it right here, and this is the Jamaica station. It's kind of separated from everything else, which is why I don't feel that unsafe going through there, as long as I don't leave that station. But all around it, it's not good, and this is exactly where it happened, right here. That's where the shooting happened. Now, as far as the other shooting you spoke about in Jamaica down the road. That was like in the pedestrian mall area, which is a little more down here, I think. So a little more in this area, maybe. But it's not the area I'm thinking of. I think it's a little more over here. Yeah, over here. Maybe this area here. Look at all that garbage piled up. But yeah, this would be the area. Probably where that. But the 165th terminal, I don't know why they forgot about that. So the 165th Street terminal, which is all the way down here. This is the Jamaica bus terminal. Maybe I think they meant this. They're referring to it as a shot. Maybe they meant this area, but this is where this is where the shooting happened. Right here. All right. Very unsafe over here. Very run down. Years ago, it wasn't great, but it's even worse now, I'm sure. So, yeah, this is what people who live in Jamaica have to deal with, and it's horrible. And, it's just the problems are just being dumped there. All the problems, the criminals, everything. That area is being redlined. And that's going to happen to all of us. That's our future. That's our future. That's happening in the whole middle of the island. All right? So let's go to see what's going on Long Island now. Let's see what we got here. So you got any other crimes going on here? All right, park ranger shoots man who lunged at him. So this was the police-involved shooting in Copac. And this was on the South Shore at Tanner Park, which is kind of surprising. I know Copac isn't the best area, but down on the South Shore, it's generally on the south part of it, the southern part of it, it usually is a little better. So it says a man was hospitalized with serious injuries after police say he lunged at a park ranger with a knife on Long Island, and the park ranger shot him. So it's happened at 4:45 p.m. Saturday, October 29th. SCPD said a Town of Babylon park ranger was responding to a complaint about a suspicious person when the man lunged at him. The park ranger shot the man once in the chest. The man was hospitalized for treatment of serious injuries, and the park ranger was taken. So he had to defend himself, basically. We don't know where this guy came from. We don't know. But he was obviously... we don't know. But I have a feeling he probably wasn't from the area. So it just goes to show you that just because you're on the South Shore doesn't mean you're going to get away from all of it. And here's another shooting that the news did not cover at all. Again, another one. Police investigate after gunshots fired in broad daylight. Another broad daylight shooting at occupied vehicle in Riverhead. This is on Doctor's Path. Authorities asked the public for information after gunshots were fired at an occupied vehicle on Long Island. Police responded to a report of gunshots in Riverhead at a location in the area of Doctor's Path, north of Northville Turnpike, at around 1 p.m. Saturday, October 22nd. And apparently the Riverhead reported on... why did it take that long for them to report it? But officers learned that gunshots were fired from a moving gray four-door sedan into an occupied and parked vehicle. No injuries were reported, so it's pretty scary stuff. And Doctor's Path at north of Northville, that's... there was a time when that was a decent area, but now it's become very, very dangerous. This is Doctor's Path, and this is Northville, and they've put a lot of dangerous... all the people get out of jail are often housed over here, so it's not surprised, that this is happening. So this is the area. It used to be nice, but many years ago, but now it's quite dangerous over here, unfortunately. So yeah, this is the area right here. You have farms right there, but don't let the farms fool you. They're dumping the problems there. You have a lot of people out there that should be in jail that are not, that have been let out by the governor, closing all the prisons, along with bail reform and all this other stuff. So if we go to News 12 here, you'll see again, South Shore 12, I should say. Excuse me, South Shore 12. Ooh, MTA bus driver. Oh, that's actually got a 1 minute and 39 seconds. So this is very interesting. So this is an MTA bus driver. Okay, we'll have to play this because it has to do with transit. They did actually cover this.
I'm Antoinette Biordi. And I'm Tama Ponton. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight.
Sounds like this was their lead story earlier on.
With that deadly DWI crash involving an off-duty MTA bus driver from Hempstead.
Yeah, according to court documents, 50-year-old Donnell Hill had a blood alcohol level of 0.14, almost double the legal limit, when he slammed into a tree, killing a passenger and injuring others in the car. Candles are being lit here on Jerusalem Avenue in Hempstead to honor the young man who was killed in this deadly accident. And just a few feet away are pieces of the car 50-year-old Donnell Hill was driving Saturday night. Police say Hill was drunk behind the wheel and speeding when he lost control, struck a curb, and hit a tree. The passenger was taken to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead. Hill, who is a New York City MTA bus driver, was arraigned before a judge this afternoon and is being charged with manslaughter, DWI, and aggravated DWI under Leandra's law. Because according to court documents, his 13-year-old son, Joshua Hill, was in the car. The teen is now in the hospital with spinal injuries. And police have not identified or have identified the name of the passenger right now who was killed. He is 26-year-old Xavier Paris of Massapequa. New York City MTA officials say they will be evaluating Hill's employment. Hill pleaded not guilty.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be fired. But guess what? He might end up working for Nice Bus because they're, from what I've heard, Nice Bus is, they're so short on drivers, they're hiring anyone. Doesn't matter if they have criminal record or not. So expect to see this guy working for Nice Bus real soon, probably. Yep. Driving drunk. That's... At least he didn't get out. See, they left this part out of the story. His bail was set at $25,000, so at least he wasn't let out. But yeah, this is at least they covered that. I'm kind of surprised they did. But they did cover that at least. But the rest is all over the South Shore. Another drunk driver here. You get a lot of these crashes too. A lot of accidents going on. Like I said, it's just all hell is breaking loose in Hochul's, New York. And it's just Just unbelievable. And let's see what we got here. Officer injured machine. They didn't really cover this very well. This only got 26 seconds and it happened in Copac. Kind of surprising. They really just don't like covering crime. That's what it is. It just, they, this is why when you go to their front page, they have Hochul, because they're in bed with Hochul. It's so obvious what's going on here with Channel 12. None of the other stations are like this. It's just Channel 12, South Shore 12, Long Island. That's it. They're the only ones. So it's been a wild night. Not the kind of wild night we want to see. But and tomorrow's Halloween, and it could be even more violence. So it's going to be scary out there. Your best bet, stay in the enclaves as much as you can. That's it. Thank you for watching.